I gave it time. I let it marinate. I can now come out with my opinions about JayZ and the NFL because we have context, and context is key. But this goes without saying. Beyonce, your birthday is just before mine, and you didn't have to take him back. And I know he's your baby daddy and your husband, but you deserve better. I can be your better. I can't take myself seriously. Welcome to the Identity Booth. We are back in it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. I know you guys have been eagerly awaiting my opinions on this whole NFL JayZ thing, so I'm going to give it to you. But before we start, hey, you're here. Most of you will click out within the next 5 minutes. I got analytics to prove it. Just hit the like, share, subscribe button. It's down below. Click it. It really helps the channel out. I've been getting a lot more support lately, so let's keep this going. You feel me? Let's keep this energy, this help hero energy out. Consider it a late birthday gift if you haven't already got me something. Shout outs to all the people that wish me happy birthday. I appreciate it. September 5th, great day in modern history. Great day in modern history. I came into your life. How about that? But in all seriousness, let's get to the business. We're talking about the Crushers Club. We're talking about JayZ. We're talking about the NFL. Now, if you don't know context, because I want to be fair and balanced here. I don't watch the NFL. I don't support the NFL. I don't support the NFL anymore. And that's because they blackballed my boy Colin Kaepernick. And I will watch the NFL. I will return back to the NFL once they have done that. But, you know, there's so many things that you could stop watching NFL for. I mean, if it's not the fact that players are legitimately turning down millions for their health. Andrew Luck, rest in love. I hope rest in love. He's not dead, but you know, enjoy your life, bro. Like, man, enjoy your life. Rob Gronkowski. There's a bunch of players dropping out of NFL. The whole entire Miami defense and offense is trying to drop out of their league because they're trying to, you know, quit their season early off. And people just don't see the reason of playing for a team that isn't trying to win and subjugating themselves to such abuse. So just keeping that in mind. Although I'm not watching NFL for my own personal reasons, I've long stopped judging people for watching it. Not everyone has the fortitude. Not everyone has the tolerance. Not everyone has the resolve. Not everyone enjoys the miserable reality of life. And sometimes that just them watching people collide for hours at a time is the thing they need to get them through the day. Who the fuck am I to take that from them? You know, it's bigger than me. So I leave people to their own devices. But I know when the word got out that JayZ was teaming up in the NFL and they did that press conference, and I couldn't help but feel like JayZ, the song 4-4 just kept playing in my mind. It's just rich figure, hood figure, loud figure, nasty figure, whatever the lyrics are, still, you just another brother. Like JayZ has art repeating history or history repeating art, whatever the saying or phrase is. It just made me feel some type of way. Like, for someone who has never knelt, to say that it's time for us to stop kneeling really rubbed me the wrong way. And at that point, I'm not gonna lie, I made my decision. My boy sold out. I was convinced. But before I could put some stank on that resolve, I needed more evidence. And the thing about JayZ, he's a billionaire now, and he was allotted $400,000 to use however he saw fit. The fact that he didn't bring Colin Kaepernick to the table, the fact that he didn't, you know, talk to Kaepernick before meeting with the NFL, the fact that he had the audacity to say that we're past kneeling when Tamir's Rice died and no one was held responsible. We're past kneeling. JayZ, you have kids. And based on your lyrics, no matter how rich, how successful, who they are, they still black. And ain't no getting away from that, JayZ. They still gonna have to walk this earth, and they're gonna have to walk this earth at some point without your protection. I think that's super important. You have a boy. You have a boy now. That's crazy. But we move forward. We move forward because we want to talk about Sally Hazelgrove, who received half of that $400,000, $200,000, I believe, to her Crushers Club. The Crushers Club is basically a boxing thing. And I want to say something about these clubs and communities, especially with African-American kids. Stop using, I say this all the time, kids, African-American kids, every kid I see practicing whatever sport, like, good on them, but I want to see an equal amount of support and drive to, you know, studies, coding, medical procedures. Like, why is it that anytime we praise our kids or we glorify our kids, it's on graduation day, sporting events, and that seems to be it. Like, their own personal endeavors, whatever it may be, it revolves usually around education or sports, and 9 times out of 10 is sports related. The cure to cancer is trapped in one of these kids' mind. But because we're so busy focusing on their physicality versus their versatility, is that a word? I don't know. I know versatile is a word. Is versatility a word? You guys will correct me. Instead of us focusing on their ability to learn, to grow, to encourage, like whatever it is, we continue to push African-American kids into the sports world. If you don't dribble a basketball, run with the football, or swing a baseball bat, as an African-American person, you just seem to be less significant in my eyes. Like, I don't know if that's something that happened to me because I'm projecting, because as I was a student athlete, and we always knew you're a student first, athlete second. We all know that, right? Good. And without that context, I feel like I'm probably being biased because I remember being at one point for 2 years on my college team, the only science major on my football team. I remember being told by coaches, you can't take this class because you have to practice. And it was just weird to me because I was the only one that made it to the league. Go figure. This Crushers Club, they indoctrinate kids, and I'm using the word indoctrinate on purpose because once you get a closer look at some of the things that the owner, Sally Hazelgrove, has been saying, doing, and really appreciating. Hair in the black culture is not just hair. Hair is a symbol of our roots. That's the one thing without, you have women and men who you could do whatever you want to do to your body, but your hair is always gonna grow out curly, nappy, kinky. Like, there's no chemicals, there's no procedures. You can do your hair and put weaves and wigs over it, but underneath there, you still a nappy-headed ass kid. It used to be something we ran from, and I have really embraced the natural look. Not so much because, you know, I want to get closer to my roots. I know where my roots were planted, so I don't feel the need to kind of search for them. But this being in touch with yourself and really valuing and loving yourself is something that's really blown up in the last few years, especially in the African-American community. And I really appreciate it. I really indulge in it. So when you see a white person come up and give praise and pat herself on the back for helping a kid out by cutting their hair, the irony of this situation, because JayZ has locks. She claims that having locks, in other words, basically makes you a bad person. The person who gave you your salary for the next year has locks. The person who teaches the kids exactly how to box, This is a young gentleman. I'll find this picture, put it up. He has kinky hair. Is he a bad person? Why is it that your physical features are being used to judge you? That has a tint of racism. And you can tell she takes pride in this. She enjoys, giving pertinent information away to police officers in Chicago about her students, her kids, so that anytime these officers approach them in the street, they know who they are. So anytime there's a question about a crime and that kid was in range, they can bring them in for questioning, taking away their ability to basically remain silent by giving them all the information they need to build a profile on you. If you don't know your kids have profiles built on them, you're foolish. Your rights and amendments were given to you for a reason. You need to use them. Even as cross as I am about the Second Amendment, I understand the purpose of having them. I just don't see the reason for having an assault rifle. Another story. But it's important that we protect these kids. These kids need more than just some white lady watching them. They need father figures. They need mother figures. They need people that look like them with long, beautiful locks who are successful, teaching them that there's more to life than just boxing and making beats, as she suggests what they do for fun. That you might have the cure to cancer locked up in your mind. That you might be the person to create a whole new source of energy that will sustain the world. These are the goals and aspirations we need to be teaching our young African American kids. But the thing about it is, that wasn't the goal with her. And she came out and she apologized. She realized she was wrong. I think she needs to be removed completely from the kids' picture. But moving on, now let's talk about the media's exploitation of these kids. Because there's one young kid, I'll find his picture. He was brought onto this radio station. I'll put the name up here. And basically, this is a kid from inner city Chicago. He was flown out to this radio station in a different area, I believe. Flight, food, hotel, basic accommodations. That was all paid for. And he's out here saying, I wanted to cut my locks because I wanted a better life. I was tired of gangbanging. What does you gangbanging have to do with your locks? The fact that these lines were written by a white person clearly to be said on the behalf of another white person is eerily shocking. Because no normal person without context would understand that statement. I wanted to stop gangbanging, so I cut my hair. If you wanted to stop gangbanging, you just stop gangbanging. If I wanted to become a drug dealer, me putting on a business suit wouldn't make me a better drug dealer. And then again, pharmaceuticals probably. It's just without context. It's just eerily, he says all lives matter. If he understood the devastating remark of what that meant, because I doubt he understands that 60% of the time when he runs into an officer, his life is at risk. I doubt he knows Tamir Rice's story, Philando Castile's story. I doubt he knows Sandra Bland's story. Stephen Clark. These are people that were doing nothing, following the rules. Tamir Rice, 13, open carry state, shot 2 seconds. We have to do better. And this kid not understanding that he's being used it just reeks of the whole black people being used to sell whatever the white man wants to sell. All lives matter. All lives do not matter because black lives don't matter. We say black lives matter not to spite other lives. We just want to remind you that we are here. Because too often in the justice system, in our socioeconomic status, we are not thought of. 9/11 just passed. All I saw up and down my timeline was never forget. When they bombed Black Wall Street, did we have any memorial? Do we get the never forget? The countless failed attempts of controlling the drug war and sending all those young African Americans to prison? Have we forgotten about those people? America has selective memory. If you don't believe me, read a history textbook. But let's get to JayZ, the billionaire, the man in charge, the leader, the false prophet. Oh, how you sold us on your dream. Turned down the NFL, put it in a rap lyric. You felt good about yourself. It cost $600,000 to buy you. That's how much it cost. While the exact details of your contract have not been disclosed, you are being used. And it's not, and don't get me wrong, hear me out. You did it for money, and that's okay. I support your grind. JayZ, I support your music. I support your business deals. You are a genius. You are not a bad person, but you're wrong for this. You have never had to take a knee. How dare you? How dare you tell Colin Kaepernick that we're past this? You didn't even have the balls to say it to his face. Flew 5 separate times to go meet with Roger Goodell on the low. Colin Kaepernick had your phone number. Never text him once about your altercations, your interactions, your plan. But it was about the money, and that's fine. Do you, bro? Like, I get it. And if you had a second chance to do it, I hope you do it the same way. Because that's what you do. That's your livelihood. That's how you grew up. Don't change who you are. Change your situation. And wouldn't you, lo and behold, you had the power. You had $400,000. Here's a list of every place that Colin Kaepernick has donated money. What was wrong with you donating to these places? Huh? What was so bad about donating to these places? It's not about moving on for you. And that's my problem with you being involved in this movement. It's not something you can relate to. You know how like people can't relate? You can't relate to, poor people. You can't relate to poor people problems. So stop trying. Be a good billionaire and donate your money flaccidly to more important things. Stop talking. You're not helping. Pay attention. Hire some intern. You can do it. I'll do it. Hire me. I'll come on board. I'll find these organizations and I'll put the money to good use. Just be a wallet. You're like a father who only shows up on holidays. At least bring us the things and the presents we actually wanted. But this is just me rambling. This is my opinion. Feel free to leave me in the booth with your opinions in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, do the dance, do the damn thing. I really appreciate you guys coming back. I got 7 more subscribers. I'm literally going to be counting these things out. I wish there was a better way for me to get in contact with my subscribers, but the comment section is where it's at, to be honest. Let's just meet up there. But for all intents and purposes, this has been the Identity Booth. I greatly appreciate you guys, talking to me, working with me. It's hot in here. And my nipples are getting sensitive. I can see them through my shirt on camera. I really appreciate you guys. Take care.